Hello. Today we're going to be talking about 3 tips to help you optimize your use of LinkedIn. You may be asking yourself, why LinkedIn? Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth Wafo, and the last 4 years I was helping companies make the most use of their LinkedIn presence and also members on the platform. Why do we want to talk about LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn is the #1 professional networking platform with over 660 million users worldwide. You don't have to reach the 660 million people, but maybe you do need a segment of these people to know who you are, so you can find new customers, so you can find an employer, so you can stand out more for your current employer and business partners. So what are the 3 things we want to talk about today? First off, your profile summary. So I'd like to say your profile, your story. Because when I want to do business with you, I want to know who I'm doing business with. I want to know who you are, why you do what you do, how you do what you do, and why you've decided to do it with whomever. So if you're self-employed, if you're working for a company, how does your personal values tie into the company values? Why do you think you're the right person for me to connect with and to do business with? So your profile summary is something that allows someone that doesn't know you decide that you are the one person out of the 5,000, 6,000 engineers on the platform that would be the right person for my business or for my contract. So it is your opportunity to tell the network who you are and why they should engage with you. So that's your profile summary. Please keep in mind it is not a novel, it's not a short story, and most times people will access this information via their mobile phones. So if I have to click on more and more and more, most likely I will not read through it. So keep that in mind when you're writing your profile summary. That's one thing that immediately makes you stand out from the rest of the people, especially how you word it and what kind of words you use in your profile summary. So, number 2, it's great if I tell you how good I am at something, but it's even better if someone who had the same expertise or even more or comes from the same industry can endorse me by giving a recommendation. So on LinkedIn, you have the possibility of giving and getting recommendations from people. It's about having someone say, hey, I worked with Nena on this project and she did this, this, and this, and I can testify to her skills when it comes to such projects. Or for someone to say, Bisola is very good at this. I've been with him in this banking project and he was excellent and I would recommend him. So it's about people from the same field and industry that have done previous projects with you, giving testimonials. So you know this yourself. If you want to buy a car, if you want to buy a new laptop, if you want to get the next mobile phone, the best Android device, you read the reviews, you read what people have to say about it, you read the testimonials. It's no different. In a world where anybody can be the right person for your service or need, you need people to testify about them. And that's why the recommendations gives you an added advantage over other people that have the same skill set or experience with you. And the third thing we're going to talk about is skills and endorsements. With skills and endorsements, you have to think about it this way. Today, everybody uses a search engine, no matter for what. If I want to buy new slippers, if I want to build a house, if I'm thinking about what kind of concrete mix to use, or what's the best solution to whatever problem I have, I use the search engine to search. I search with keywords. The skills and endorsements on LinkedIn work like this. You are able to put in competencies and skills that you've had, that you've accumulated in your present job or from other jobs, that allow people find you when they are looking for the same skill sets that you've listed. So say, for example, if I were to use my profile, I studied arts and I worked as a graphic artist several years ago, but the last 12 years I've been working as an IT salesperson. So you will see in my profile Adobe Photoshop, you will see Adobe InDesign, but the more prominent roles or skills that you will find in my profile are around lead generation, pipeline management, or sales management, because that's what I've been doing the last 12 years. Now, to show you how relevant or important these skill sets are, even though the last time I had anything to do with selling CRM is 2013, I still get recruiters and people writing me asking if I wanted to join their sales team to sell CRM, because I have endorsements on my profile around selling CRM. So that's something that puts you immediately on a different position. When people do searches, they find you. So how do you go about adding skills into your profile? I'll show you that when we're doing the practical side of it. And you do need to get people to endorse you. And remember, it's given and taken. When you visit someone's profile, LinkedIn immediately suggests skills that you can endorse for the person. And when you do it, they get a mail saying, oh, Nena has just endorsed me for XY. And then you feel good about it and you go on ahead and return the endorsements. So those are the three things that I'm going to go through it again that I wanted to talk about, and I will show you how to do them practically. First of all, your profile summary. Differentiating yourself by letting whoever visits your profile why they should engage with you in a few words. The second thing is having other people via the recommendations aspect on LinkedIn say that you actually can do what you said you can do. And the third is adding competencies that makes you visible, increases your visibility so that when people search for those skill sets, you'll be one of the search results and they can engage with you. So that's it for the theoretical aspect of it. Do join me as we look at the practical side of it. Thank you and see you soon. Welcome to the practical session of our 3 things you can do to improve your LinkedIn profile. We talked about 3 things you can do, and I'm going to show you now how to apply that to your LinkedIn profile. We are on the home, the start screen of LinkedIn, and you can see on top the navigational bar where you can access most everything that you need on LinkedIn. So home, my network, jobs, messaging, notification, and then you have the tab, the icon me. If you go on me and click on it, you go on view profile. This brings me to my profile. As you can see, I have my profile in 2 languages. Being that I've worked in the German market for a couple of years now, I have my profile in German and English. For this video, I'm going to switch right here to the English version of my profile. And then we can go through the things I talked about. The first I said was your profile summary. It's your profile, it's your story. It's your opportunity to give someone who is visiting your profile for the first time, second time, third time, the possibility of finding out what it is you have to offer, what you're about, and why they should connect with you. So if we look quickly at my title, the upper part of the profile, it says Traveler, Content Creator, LinkedIn Expert. And the next area beneath that is the About section where your profile summary then shows. The 2 parts of the profile summary that are relevant, it's the area where you write the text, and it's the second part where you have featured, where you can actually include media to support what you are saying about yourself. All of these areas have a pencil sign right next to it, and by clicking on the pencil sign you go into edit mode. But before I show you edit, let's go back to what I mentioned. When you are doing your profile summary, remember it has to do with saying what motivates you to do what you do, why you do the things you do, and what exactly it is you're doing right now, and why you have chosen to do it with the company or the project you're going through. What is the driving force? What drives you? Why do you work with people? Why should people want to engage with you? And don't make it like a novel or a short story, because most likely people will be reading this off a mobile device. So you want to keep it interesting and quick enough for people to grasp why should they work with you. So I'm not going to read through everything I wrote, but the essence of it is that I'm always motivated by influencing experiences around the world. And one way to do that is putting out the right information, or putting out information so people can make decisions based on information. I'm going to go ahead and click on this pencil sign. Now it brings you the summary to the summary section, and as you can see, I've mentioned that I have my profile in 2 languages. So you see beneath, the German is my main profile language setting because my business environment has been Germany for over the last 12 to 15 years. And I've got the English one because in my network, it's not just German speakers. So that's why you're seeing the primary language at the base. And if I feel like I want to make a correction here, I do all the correction in, I click on save, and then it reflects on the profile. So, okay, so when you're done with that, so I'm going to say, do you want to discard? Discard, because I didn't make any changes. If you are done with that, you want to go down and decide to look at the items that you can feature to support, and that's what we talk about, rich media, to support what you've said about yourself. When we're talking about rich media, we mean videos, we mean articles, we mean maybe even posts. So this is something that has been newly added to LinkedIn, because previously what you could feature on your profile were just like adding videos or articles that you have written externally in YouTube format So for example, there is a plus sign that enables me add media into my featured area, and you have posts. I can select from posts, I can select from articles, I can select from links, and I can upload photos, documents, and presentation. And if I wanted to edit what I already added, I would click on here and I would be able to remove some of the things I already added. So you see remove from featured. So that's one thing you can definitely do. Let's just move forward to the next point that we mentioned. And I talks about recommendation, validation, getting someone to say that that which you say you do, you really do it. So I'm not an expert at this. As you can see, I have only 3 recommendations and I have given 1. But the beautiful thing is I've been intending to give Henrik a recommendation since we worked together at LinkedIn, and we actually worked on a project that was dear to me, which is Rock Your Profile, and Henrik took over from me as the new Rock Your Profile ambassador, one of the new Rock Your Profile ambassadors in the Munich office. So I will be giving him a recommendation, but before I go into giving him, like I always say, networking is about giving and taking. So I scroll back up and I go to my network. And you can see the invitations I have currently, but I'm just going to go to teammates, for example, people I've added to be my teammates, and I will choose my ex-manager. So if I want to ask Christian for a recommendation, all I will do is go to these 3 points here, and I have request a recommendation or recommend. I can also recommend Christian. We're going to look at that later. I click on request a recommendation and I can say he managed me directly, and I can choose a position, and I go here and say next. And I can easily send the standard default message from LinkedIn, or actually use one that I've written myself, and now send the request to him. So I go, hi Christian. So my request has been sent out to Christian. Now I'm going to show you how to write a recommendation. If you want to give someone a recommendation, you look for their profile when you found it. So by looking for, you go to the search box here. I can easily click on Hendrik's profile, and I'm on the profile, and I see here more. So you see message, view in Sales Navigator if you have a Sales Navigator license, and then you have more. Now when I go to more, I can recommend him. So I go here and I select my relationship with him. I did not work with him in the same group. We worked in different groups, and I want to recommend him for the site leader for Rock Your Profile. And or I can choose to recommend him here as the Senior Enterprise Account Executive, and I go next, and I can put my recommendation. So I had the pleasure of working with Henrik during my time at LinkedIn. Henrik is an industry expert when it comes to social selling and understanding customer relationships. I was fortunate enough to get expert tips on how to use Sales Navigator from him and carry out prospecting campaigns in my sales territory. As a public speaker, he commands respect in the areas of his expertise. So now I can send it to him, and when he's approved it, it will be then included on his profile. So when we scroll down to Henrik's profile, so right here we have the recommendations. So this is the area of recommendations. So my recommendation will pop up here, and he can decide if he wants to include it or not. So the third aspect is skills and endorsements. So I navigate the me icon, view my profile, and scroll down to where I have the skills and endorsements area and show you. So skills and endorsements. You might be wondering, oh, this does not look like a lot of skills and it's not endorsed quite a lot. Yes, true, because I've spent quite a number of my years selling software, and the last for LinkedIn. So if you go to my profile, you will see I have other skills that are more endorsed than LinkedIn and social networking. I've just added those extra. But let's talk about the skills. There are different segments of the skills. You've got industry knowledge. For example, I'm in IT sales, so it is common that the industry knowledge for me would be something around social selling, sales process. And you've got the different number of people that have recommended me for this skills or endorsed me for this skills. Now, if we go down to technology and tools, and I've used Salesforce since I worked at Salesforce till I left LinkedIn as a CRM tool. So of course, Salesforce.com as a technology, I have 49 people recommending me on it. I've got 51 people recommending me on SaaS and enterprise technology. But other areas that you can put in are things like interpersonal skills. Now you scroll down to the area where you can add skills and endorsement to your profile, and it already says add a new skill, and you have the pencil sign allowing you edit the skills you already have. So if I wanted to take something out, I would click on here and I would see a list of the skills that I already have. I've pinned some of my top skills that I want to be visible. Now I've put LinkedIn networking and public speaking. These are the ones that are I've added newly, and I want them to be on top so more people can endorse me for them. You can use the dustbin icon to delete any unwanted or outdated skill in the list shown. So I'm going to say save, and we're going to go back here, and then you see where you can add a new skill. So if I click on new skill, I have the possibility. Here are some suggested skills based off my profile. I've got writing. I don't think I have writing inside. I might want to put that because lately I've been doing a lot of writing, especially since I'm talking about content creation. But if I wanted to add a skill, I would be able to type in here and then add the particular skill. So let's say I wanted to add Adobe Photoshop, for example, or Adobe InDesign, or type Adobe and it will pull up for me a number of options. So those are all the things to do with Adobe that I can add to my profile, but I'm not adding any. So how do you get people to endorse you? One simple way is you can ask people for it, or you can go about endorsing people in your network. So I will just do this, which I usually do. So I already have my ex-manager's profile open, and I can go to his profile and see what I have not endorsed him for. So if you have already endorsed somebody on certain skills, you will see that the skills have been highlighted. So, but here there are quite a number of other skills in his profile, which I can say, okay, do I want to endorse him for? I haven't endorsed him for it. Marketing strategy, okay, yes. And let's see, human resources, recruiting. These are, and now it's asking me to rate how good he is. Do not worry, this will not be sent to the person, but I'm going to skip it for now, for time's sake. I'm not doing this because I know Christian and I feel like doing something good for him. I'm doing this because I've worked 4 years with him and I do know that he has the skills and I can endorse him for it. Another way LinkedIn helps you or prompts you about endorsements is if I go to one of the profiles of people in my network. So let me just choose anyone randomly from my network that I know professionally. Let me just narrow the search down and put in LinkedIn, because now I will have my ex-colleagues. Okay, for some reason I'm on his profile, and I will show you already what I mean by that. So LinkedIn helps you, it prompts you. So here it's already showing me, Elizabeth, you're skilled in sales. Do you want to endorse Hannes for sales? Now, because I know Hannes and we've worked together and I know he knows sales, I click on endorse. I can actually decide to skip that, but I click on endorse. And if I scroll further down, I will see other skills that he has. So there's relationship building. I can choose that as well. I don't want to rate. So today I've done quite a number of endorsements for Hannes, and he will get messages over LinkedIn saying I endorsed him for these things. So that way, I mean, he might decide to say, I will endorse Liz back in turn. But if you want to be proactive about it, you might as well go in and ask for the endorsements from people you know you've worked together with and you want to get an endorsement for them. So let's round it up. We talked about three things, and so we talked about the profile summary. And then after you've done that, we go further to recommendation. And in the area of recommendation, you use the power of your network to get people to validate you. So next thing you can do is your skills and endorsements. So I've taken a look at my skills, and one thing I do think I can add to it is writing. So those are the three tips we want to talk about today. I hope this has been helpful for you. Do stay in touch, because I will go through things like finding your voice on LinkedIn, networking, do's and don'ts. If you would like to join the next classes, do drop me a mail. Thank you very much.